And welcome back to another NBA Sesh. Avi, I know how much you hate intros, so I'm just going to get into it.
Yes.
1-1, Miami and Denver. This is pre-recorded, so maybe some folks will watch this and be like, what are you talking about? It's, whatever. But so far it's 1-1, and I'm kind of disappointed because I really want Denver to go all the way, and I wanted Denver just to have an easy win, just like they swept the LeBron James and the Lakers, right? They swept them. They swept them, right? Denver?
Denver swept the Lakers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
did.
yeah, yeah.
Right? So Miami's really good. They stole one from Denver. They stole a home court advantage as of now. And this feels like it's probably going to go to 7 games. What do you think? Who do you think is going to come out on top? Why? And how many games do you think it's going to go to?
I don't know about 7 games, but I think most people did predict that Miami will win one game. They started hitting a lot of threes in the fourth. Shots started falling for them. And I saw an interesting stat today that when the Joker scores 40 plus points, the team actually loses.
Really?
This season, every time he scored 40 plus points, the team lost. So that means that he's filling in for, other guys not doing their part. And that's when they were struggling. But they really just have to drive them off the 3-point line. And I think that 3-point shot had Miami Heat going through all these series runs. They're lucky that shot was hitting. And now Tyler Hero's coming back, game 3 possibly.
Just like you mentioned, a stat like the Joker having 40 points and they're losing games that way, it seems so counter uh intuitive, I guess, for someone to think that way because it's like how he's doing something great. How are they losing, right? And now that Miami's getting Tyler Hero back, I have a feeling they're not going to even put him out into the field because if Tyler Hero comes back for Game 3, I think Denver's going to win. It's always that adjustment after a long time, and then Tyler Hero, I think, is what arguably made them bad. And he's not like a bad player per se, but sometimes even a good player is bad for the team. It just doesn't mesh well. It doesn't work. And it's going to be very interesting because I think what's going to happen out of respect or whatever, they might put out Tyler Hero. But if they don't do well and if they especially lose game 3, I'm not surprised if they just bench him for the rest of the series. Because they don't want to mess up with the chemistry. They don't want to mess up with the flow. What do you think? Do you think they're even going to play Tyler Hero at all?
Yeah, I think they will because Spoelstra is an exceptional coach, and I think he'll figure out a way on how to fit him in. Well, that being said, he's probably not going to have big minutes in the beginning, but he is one of the only players on that team, and maybe a couple other guys that could actually create their own shot. So the other guys kind of need that ball movement, that flow of offense to hit threes and score. And he's like one of the guys so that could be a problem for Denver, and they have to watch out because if the Heat take the next game, this is going to be a serious, interesting series.
Can you imagine the Heat winning the championship? Oh, man, I hope not. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see. It's very interesting to see what's going to happen with Tyler Hero, actually. I'm very curious for game 3.
The Heat win, I'm going to have to really
move to Miami.
Yeah, that'll be the final straw, but it's going to be all respect to them. It's I gotta give props for that because that'll be incredible. And I'm gonna be hating. I'm jealous. I'm not gonna lie because the Knicks could have been that team,
especially in 1999.
Yeah, or in the last couple of years at least.
Speaking of the Knicks, Scott Perry's leaving after 6 seasons. They already got rid of Steve Mills before, right?
Yeah, they
so those 2 guys didn't mesh well. I think especially Steve Mills didn't mesh well with Porzingis, and now there's rumors that Porzingis is going to come back to the Big Apple. Do you think that's true? And if it is, would he make the Knicks better?
Well, I think that if he is going to replace Mitchell Robinson, which is what the talk he is definitely going to provide a huge offensive threat because when they were playing the Heat, there it was or the other teams it was essentially 4 and 5 because Robinson brings zero offense to the game, but Robinson is also the defensive anchor that actually helps the team become a million times better on defense. I said I think offensive anchor. I'm a defensive anchor. Porzingis is not a bad defender, but he's also really injury prone. So you have to kind of weigh it out. And I think at the end of the day, I would rather keep Robinson and maybe wait to package him in for really a better deal or a better player. What do you think?
So here's the thing. Honestly, I'd rather keep Robinson because Robinson is less expensive. Okay. Porzingis is. So here's the thing. Even though Robinson's a better defender than Porzingis, Porzingis, it's worth having Porzingis because he's still a good defender,
He's
but he gives you that huge offense that Mitchell Robinson does not give you. But the biggest takeaway for Porzingis is the him always being injured. Now, to be fair, Mitchell Robinson is also injury prone, right? But it just seems, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. It just seems like Porzingis is injured more and for longer periods of time than Mitchell Robinson. And he has a very expensive contract. So is it really worth it? Because then you're going to have to get rid of Julius Randle too.
yeah, yeah.
And it's like, I know Julius Randle kind of chokes in the playoffs and he's not like necessarily the best player for us, and people are saying he's a third, fourth option on a team. Which again, he's an expensive option at that. But again, the problem I have with Porzingis is that he's injury prone. So I'd rather keep Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson. Although a healthy Porzingis would be very dangerous for us to have. I mean, it would be a great for us to have and dangerous for other teams. Um, they definitely have to do something with Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle because Julius Randle is somebody who's just not working out for the Knicks, and Mitchell Robinson keeps complaining that he wants a bigger role, and the Knicks can't give it to him. So we're gonna have to ship him to a team that he'll be happy and he'll help that team. But come on, man, Mitchell Robinson's not a star player. I don't even think he's a second option on a team. I don't know. I think he's tripping, man. I don't know what he's thinking by complaining about that. But then again, maybe
But he
to his
also
credit,
maybe
he doesn't want to be the superstar. Maybe he just wants a bigger role. That could mean anything.
no. I first of all, I think that he only mentioned something once. So
Well,
to
I heard it was more than once.
Well, yeah, maybe he there is more offense to him than we see because obviously we don't see much offense from him, but maybe he could do more, and the coaches just doesn't trust them. But number one, I think Porzingis is either going to be a free agent or he has a contract extension coming up, so they might just that's why they have to decide whether it's between Kyle Kuzma or Porzingis. And that's why they traded Hachimura to the Lakers because they definitely didn't want him. Obviously, they play similar roles, and that was a great pickup by the Lakers. But yeah, I was also gonna say that Porzingis and Randall, I don't think they'll be a good fit together, and that's why I think I would rather keep Mitchell just because of his defense. Like that's something he is excellent at. And then with Porzingis, it's like, yeah, he's a great offensive player, but he's also so injury prone that we haven't seen enough of him to be like that solid second star. And it's going to be tough to see how Randall and Porzingis also mesh well. So I'd rather keep them the way it is and then just trade them together for like a bigger package, whatever that could be. Maybe it'll be Giannis.
Oh man, that would be great. But
Bucks fans are probably freaking out right now hearing this.
I don't think it's going to be Giannis. I don't think Giannis is going to request the trade. Uh, it's going to be very hard. Like I read somewhere, it was like a stupid thing where, oh, Luka Doncic might come to the Knicks because there's an uncertainty in the future. You think Mark Cuban is just going to fold that fast and say, all right, fine, Oh, it's going to be tough because we're going to have to figure it out. For example, DeAndre Ayton might be available, but like you mentioned, or we spoke about this, whether it was on a podcast or outside of the podcast, he's just not a hardworking player. Okay. He's not as good as we thought he's going to be. He's good. He's talented, but is giving up Randall and Mitchell Robinson going to be the solution by getting Aiden back? Most likely not. So we have to figure it out. Right now, I love Jalen Brunson. I love Quentin Grimes. I love Mitchell Robinson for small forward. We have to do something with the power forward in the center slot. I would love to keep Mitchell Robinson if he says, you know what, it's cool. I'll just do whatever you guys need me to do. And if we got a guy like Porzingis, then we're gonna have to get another solid center because I'm telling you, what Hartenstein's not gonna cut it. He's not gonna be enough. All right. Maybe Sims. Maybe we could finally develop Sims and see what he's got, but it's unlikely that that's going to happen because Tom Thibodeau. I mean, to be fair, Sims might also just have issues with health because out of nowhere he went under a surgery, right? During the
Yeah,
playoffs or right after the playoffs, and he doesn't even play.
he wouldn't get minutes anyway in the
Yeah,
playoffs.
so we're gonna have to do something, but yeah. So at power forward and center, and then we need somebody off the bench. We need some spark off the bench, and we need at least one or two good shooters.
Well, quickly was injured, and that's what also hurt us. How many games?
But
was he
obviously
injured
he's
for?
not consistent enough.
He's not consistent enough. He's not a consistent shooter. That's true, but he did. It did hurt us by him not being available to play. Now, I would love to get Jalen Brown, as you know by now that I think Jalen Brown is gonna be could be a superstar. He's only 26 or 27. However, him and RJ Barrett are kind of the same player in a way, but Jalen Brown's a little more developed, obviously. So is it gonna hurt Barrett's development? And I'd rather invest more in Barrett than try to trade a whole ship for Jalen Brown.
Well,
So they have to. I think they have to focus on upgrading the Randall's position and possibly Mitchell Robinson, and then seeing like what else is out there. But their rumor has it that Karl Anthony Towns is a possible target, which I don't know. I don't know how I like that.
well, first of all, if we get Jalen Brown, you can kiss RJ Barrett goodbye because he's going to be shipped off to Boston if that happens. And I don't know how I necessarily feel about that. I don't even know if Boston would do it. Why would Boston do that? As of now, Jalen Brown is more experienced and he's a much better player. Who's to say RJ Barrett's going to work better with Jason Tatum, right?
Oh no, well not to trade. I'm not saying like give RJ Barrett for Jalen Brown.
But I just feel like Jalen Brown and RJ Barrett won't A, coexist
Yeah,
on the next,
exactly.
and then B, we're going to have to give. I think I moved your camera. So where was I? I just think that in order to get someone like Jalen Brown, we're gonna have to give up something, especially to match salaries. So RJ Barrett inevitably will get moved. But you just said, who'd you just mention that we should get?
That not that we should get. I heard.
I
we're
don't
looking
know,
at it.
man. I don't know. Karl Anthony Towns is an amazing talent, but I think he's a little overrated. And I just don't see him fit on the Knicks, especially Thibodeau already coached him. It wasn't a good match. And why would it be a match a second time? Like Albert Einstein said, you try the same thing over and over again. That's the definition of insanity. And I just feel like in basketball, one time is too many. It's not like Cat was a rookie when Thibodeau was there. He was, he was somewhat of an established player already, putting up great numbers. So why would it work now? So then either you get rid of Tibbs, get a new coach who can make that work, or just don't bring in Cat. Another great example of that was Carmelo Anthony and Mike D'Antoni in Houston. It didn't work in New York. Why would it work in Houston? And it didn't work in Houston.
You know what I actually might see happen? Um, I might see. I think what might happen is actually Zion coming to the Knicks. I think we might have even talked about this before, but the way for that to happen and is for Randall to be traded to the Pelicans, which would make him a solid third option, and that's actually a better fit because they also have that center. What's his name?
The Pelicans?
Yeah,
I don't know. Look it up. You have your
I don't
phone?
know my phone on me, but he's also like not a bad. He could play defense. He scores. You know, he could distribute the ball. He's a European guy. Forgot, but that would be because they have CJ, they have Ingram, who's getting better every year. I think Randall would be a better fit there. And with Zion, like I'd rather take a risk on Zion than Porzingis because Zion, when he plays, he's unstoppable.
I agree with you actually, and I think it's not such a crazy idea because Zion is his heart is obviously not there. He kind of hustled New Orleans. He barely played. He was always unhealthy. He was overweight for a while. He's kind of a low key pulling James Harden. Um, everybody knows he doesn't want to be there, and he hustled the Pelicans because he wanted that supermax contract, which they gave him. But he knew that with his antics, he could get traded. He's just doing it classier than James Harden did it. But I'm not surprised if the Knicks trade for him. And what's great is that we could be like, look, why should we give you so much when you have a player that's always injured, overweight, and getting paid $200 million in the next, 5 years, 4 years, whatever it is? So if you want us to take him, fine. Take Julius Randle, take Evan Fournier.
Yeah. And
Um,
that'd be a great piece for them. Evan Fournier
and
could
then
play well
maybe we're
there.
gonna have to throw in like an Emmanuel Quickly and or an Obi Toppin. And then honestly, I think as far as draft picks are concerned, I think 2 first rounders is more than fair for a guy like that with what's going on. If he was healthy and he was beast mode, yeah, you'd have to give up like 8 draft picks. You know what I mean? But he's not. So we could get him and he could be like Greg Oden. Like so much promise and then he just breaks down and that's it.
And that said, you can't even trade him for that.
Yeah, and
It's
then at that
impossible
point
to move
Julius
him.
Randle is more valuable.
And
Um
that's actually a gamble. So like that's not like a sure thing. Because yeah, even if he wants to be in New York, what if his injuries still come back to haunt him? And that's it. The Knicks are
but most
screwed.
likely I think it would have to be a 3-team trade or a 4-team trade because I don't think New Orleans would want Julius Randle for what? They're going to be on rebuild mode again. And don't be surprised if they.
Pelicans?
Yeah. Wait, what did I say? Pelicans, right?
No, but they have. Why would they be on rebuild mode?
Because they're shipping off Zion. Now they have to start
So what?
over.
They have Ingram. They have CJ.
So you're saying
They have
that they're
that
going to build
center.
around Ingram?
Yeah, why not?
Look, Ingram's a good player, but I don't know if I'd build around Ingram. I feel like
Didn't they make
Ingram
the
is a
playoffs?
piece you bring in
Didn't
to
they
build
make?
around somebody else.
Didn't they make the playoffs?
No, they didn't.
Hmm.
They were in the play-in tournament, but I think they lost
Well,
game.
Ingram's still young, so it wouldn't make sense to trade him.
Ingram is a year older, I think, than RJ Barrett, or 2 years older. I gotta check. He was the same draft as Ben Simmons.
He actually played with Randall on the Lakers.
Ingram, yeah. Brandon Ingram's nice. I would like to have him on the Knicks actually. But what if the New Orleans would say we want RJ Barrett, and then we'll give you Ingram? But then I don't think that's going to happen because I think one of the perks of us getting Zion is to reunite Zion with RJ Barrett, so because they have that good chemistry on the court and they could play well together. So I don't think the Knicks would go for that by trading RJ Barrett. Anyway, enough about the Knicks. Um, really quickly, I want to touch up on Frank Vogel going to Phoenix. Do you think that was the right choice for Phoenix?
Yeah, I think that was a solid choice because I mean, as a Phoenix, if I was a Suns fan, obviously I want Nick Nurse. I would want Nick Nurse.
Nick Nurse is taken.
Yeah, so Frank Vogel's a solid choice because he won a championship, And yeah, you could say it's like, oh, it's the Disney ring, but the Lakers this season also proved that they're actually good. With the right pieces, the Lakers are good. And the Heat proved they're good too, even if they didn't win. They're in the finals again. So that's no longer just a Disney ring, it's a real ring. And Frank Vogel won that under a lot of pressure and being in the situation that we were at that time with COVID and all that. So he has a lot of experience. He actually brings defense. He's a solid pick. And I think that he's going to actually get them to do what they suck at is play more defense. They don't need more offense. They need more defense. Now all they got to do, and I think they just picked up Fizdale, I just read today, is going there.
As an assistant.
Yeah, and he's like a player's coach.
I think David Fizdale's a great assistant. He did well in Miami as an assistant when LeBron was there.
I totally forgot about him. I'm surprised that he wasn't even considered for like other. He's probably just not a good coach.
Well, nevertheless, I think Frank Vogel going to Phoenix, we'll see. I mean, again, is he a good coach? I think in theory he's a good coach. He did very well with the Indiana Pacers, not so much with Orlando. With the Lakers,
they were a crappy team.
With the Lakers, he got a championship. Yeah, you want to say again, okay, fine, it's a Disney championship, it doesn't count. But somebody had to win, and it was them. They won.
Yeah, and
right. What difference does it make?
Lakers had a chance to win this year. Also, they just ran out of gas, and
Frank. I'm sorry. Go ahead and finish your thought.
No, I was just saying that they just faced a much better team in Denver, and
well, the Frank Vogel wasn't the Laker coach this year.
No, but I'm saying with the players that the Lakers had, like they won in versus the Heat. But like the Heat are not like a one and done team. They're back in the finals this year. The Lakers stormed back from barely being in the playoffs this year. So it's not like it was just like a fluke. They're actually good teams with good coaching. And all Phoenix needs now is just some good pieces around KD and Booker. And I think they'll compete.
Yeah, I think he was a good pick. We'll see how it works out. Again, it depends on the players and it depends on the coach and their relationship and their chemistry and all that. Not a bad coach to pick. Championship, good records with the Lakers and the Pacers. Not bad. And real quick to circle back to the Celtics, actually. Look, last year they went to the finals, right? That means Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown worked together once, and I think they could work together again. But I think what's going to happen with the Celtics is they're going to fire this coach and get an upgrade because this guy was a no-name. They were desperate because of their misfortune with the original coach getting fired or or leaving or whatever. But a coach is a big deal, so. A lot of coaches being fired this time around.
There's a lot of movement, yeah. But no, I think that they gave him a vote of confidence, and I think they're going to have him back. I think that's what they said, so I doubt.
The Celtics.
Yeah, because I think they probably see like there's no one else out there that could be better. Yeah, you're right. They worked it out last year. I mean, yeah, last year they
under a different leadership.
That's true, but see, they're missing a true point guard. Like Brogdon was hurt, and maybe that's why he didn't play. He played off ball.
Danilo Gallinari was also hurt. He's on the Celtics, right?
Yeah, he's
always injured.
Yeah, he's done. He's a good stretch four. So, but Brogdon was the key piece, and he played off ball when he was in, and I think maybe because of his injury, or maybe it was the coaching decision. But that's why I think they might trade Jaylen Brown, and the Hawks are the favorites to land him. I'm assuming that they'll probably gonna get DeJounte Murray to pair with Tatum and maybe like John Collins because they were trying to trade for a while. There's a lot of players that the Celtics could get, like a combination of like DeJounte Murray and maybe Capella. That would be a good match. That'd be great for the Celtics. And yeah, we'll see. But I wouldn't
I
fire the coach if I was them,
I
though, right
don't even
away.
think that's a terrible idea to send Jalen Brown to Atlanta for DeJounte Murray and Josh Collins or John Collins?
I think John
John
Collins.
Collins, and then maybe another role player and a pick or two, because Jalen Brown's nice.
Yeah.
But then you can argue DeJounte Murray's also nice. And the Celtics are lacking that point guard, so maybe they won't even have to give up picks. We'll see. And Monty Williams went to the Pistons. Should be fine. He took the Phoenix Suns to the finals a couple of years back. Was a good coach for them, and I think he has a good second chance to take this young Pistons team somewhere. And if healthy, I think the Pistons can do well. They could even potentially make in the play-in tournament this time around. And give them a couple of years, I think they'll be a great team, solid team. Didn't you want to talk about the classic Pistons?
Yeah, when we were here last time, um, Jeffrey brought up the Pistons. And I mean, this is a whole conversation. But
Try to make it short.
so today I saw on Instagram how Tayshaun Prince blocked Reggie Miller out of nowhere. He had like one of those LeBron James blocks from hitting a he actually was going for a fast break layup, Reggie Miller, and they won the game. It was in the playoffs. And the Pistons are one of those teams where they won once, I think. But if they had that one superstar, and if they actually drafted like Carmelo Anthony instead of Darko Milicic, they would have been like they would have won at least 3 times the whole thing. And it sucks to see such a great all around team. Oh, and by the way, when they're showing that clip in the fourth quarter, it was a fourth quarter and the score was like 68-70 or 68-66. Like it was such a low scoring game because 3 points was the 3 point shooting wasn't as, as crazy. They played strong defense. It was insane to see, man. I kind of want to watch like some of those games again on when they air them sometimes in the summertime. But that team was just missing that one piece that could really take them to the next level.
With the Pistons?
Yeah,
But they won a championship.
only one, but they could have won multiple.
Well, all they had to do is draft Carmelo Anthony, and they probably would have gone at least two more. But they
Well,
screwed up.
who are they losing to in the finals? Mostly the Spurs, right? Because the Spurs had
I don't recall.
Lakers, Spurs.
And
We'll talk about LeBron and Mavericks.
yeah, actually, thank you for reminding me. This is a big one. Kyrie Irving's recruiting LeBron James to Dallas. Now, I think the reason he's doing this is because I guess it is possible. LeBron lost.
And then didn't LeBron mention that a while ago that he wants to?
Yeah, he could jump ship to reunite with his friend and to play with Luca in Dallas. Luca is arguably one of the best players in the league right now. So the three of them together can make it work under LeBron's leadership. And Jason Kidd's a good coach. They can make it work. Now, Mark Cuban, the reason why maybe this is happening is because Mark Cuban gave an indication that he's not planning to trade Kyrie Irving to Lakers. But what can Dallas give the Lakers for LeBron? I feel like they have nothing to offer. And another thing is, I think it's just political at this point. I think Kyrie has to show that he's not like planning to leave again. And he's making it very vocal and known that he wants LeBron to play with him. So I think it's just political of him to say that. But I think in reality, he is going to force his way out to go to the Lakers. I think ultimately that's what's going to happen. And maybe Mark Cuban is just saying that because he doesn't want to be pushed over. And I think he wants as much assets as possible. So he's purposely building up this like, nope, it's not going to happen. And then where the Lakers end up giving him so many assets, an arm and a leg, as they say, to get Kyrie Irving. What do you think?
Yeah, is LeBron a free agent or not?
I don't know.
Or he's a player option?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're right. This is more political, and because Kyrie said himself, just like he did in Boston, just like he did on the Cavs, just like he did in Brooklyn, he said, "Yeah, I'm gonna, I want to stay here. I believe in the team, yada yada yada. And then later he said, I'm gonna weigh my options. So now he's trying to save face by like trying to recruit LeBron. But at the end of the day, I mean, for LeBron James, he's definitely got to think about it because playing with Luca is definitely enticing. However, people are gonna give him that slack for like, oh, you're running to join a young superstar and play with Kyrie. So each person's like legacy is kind of a little bit on the line. LeBron James is already set. Like everyone knows he's the GOAT or up there at least. And I think at the end of the day, Kyrie Irving is just gonna go to the Lakers one way or another.
Well, I don't think Kyrie Irving has to worry about his legacy being ruined. I don't think he cares about his reputation, and quite frankly, I don't think LeBron does either. LeBron
That's true.
at this point will justify anything, and I'm sorry, but I think it was wrong of you to say that LeBron's the GOAT. We all know it's Michael Jordan. Look, you got to give credit where credit's due. I'm going to say it. Michael Jordan's the GOAT. And even though Michael Jordan's the GOAT, he's not necessarily my favorite player. Okay, my favorite player of all time is Kobe Bryant. Maybe because I just got to see him more on TV playing basketball and his interviews and how he expressed his Mamba mentality and all that. But Michael Jordan's still the GOAT. That's it.
No, listen, Kobe is definitely one of my favorite players as well. And I even cried a little bit when he passed away. But I meant to say like LeBron's the GOAT in terms of like he's up there with the
No, I know, I
GOATs.
get it. He's in GOAT conversation.
I'm glad you clarified because I know people like go like would freak out on the comments. I mean, maybe that's good, but
And look, LeBron, I'm not saying LeBron sucks. People think just because I'm saying that he's not the GOAT is I'm trying to say that he sucks. He doesn't suck. He's up there. He's on the Mount Rushmore of NBA.
oh yeah,
He's up there. But Michael Jordan's better. That's it. Enough said. And I think that's it, right? Did we cover everything we wanted to cover?
yeah.
All right. So, all right, Avi. Until next time. Until next time.